in the passenger car, he notices a disheveled man scrolling on a smartphone. He keeps laughing.
Yeah, stuff's funny on the internet.
There's some good stuff on there.
It starts out as a small chuckle here and there. Keeps
This man's enjoying the internet.
keeps happening louder and louder each time.
I just go there for bad news.
It's disrupting all the other passengers.
He's laughing louder and louder each time as if he's watching a 10 funniest videos countdown compilation or something.
What is going on over there?
But who knows? Yeah, the man could be he could have AirPods in, listening to something funny. The man's
Definitely not this podcast.
The man is uncontrollably cackling at laughter.
I'm feeling pretty hurt by this whole thing.
My first guess, but maybe.
Welcome to We Won't Finish This Podcast. This
What's
is a writer's room podcast where we pitch movies to each other that we'll never make. I'm Spaceman.
I'm Zeebs.
I'm Savage, but actually I'm Hawaiian Michelangelo.
It's true.
It's true. All right, it's actually me up tonight, so why don't we go ahead and pull up this visor. I am wearing an astronaut suit for the listeners out there.
Spaceman is an actual spaceman today.
This is the Halloween Triple Feature Spooktacular.
Yeah, got to get in the spirit.
Very
as
special.
I was told.
My plan was to have a different costume. I thought it was super clever. I saw this mask, so I painted it all up. And so I was going to be Michelangelo Myers.
All right, I like
you
it.
know, but
Very good.
do you see the issue, though?
I mean,
I figured it out afterwards. It's a Jason mask. It's not even a Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a big issue.
So
yeah, it's pretty
For sure.
huge. That's a problem. All right.
revert to Hawaiian Michelangelo. More chill.
So this time we're going to do 3 stories for this, and I don't know, we'll see how it works. Maybe 1 episode, maybe 2, but it's kind of like our treehouse of horrors instead of doing the double feature last year.
Yeah, so it's me up first, and we'll dive right into it. All right, so tonight's first story in our triple feature spooktacular is my take on the monkey's paw. So, are you guys familiar with the monkey's paw?
Like a be careful what you wish for
Yes.
type of cursed item.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, Savage, familiar with the monkey's paw?
Yeah, 3 wishes, I believe.
Well, they got more fingers
Speaking
than
of,
that.
Treehouse of Horrors actually had the monkey's paw.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
it's
so.
been done, of course.
Yes.
Just my take on-
Simpsons did it.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
sorry.
They predict everything.
Like you
man.
said, it's your take on it.
Yeah, it's just my take.
Yes.
I haven't watched any of the monkey's paw stuff in many years, so I have no idea what's there.
I can't really think of another example. I know the lore, but I don't. I think I've only can recall the Simpsons doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
But I know it's a popular thing. I know they didn't make it up.
right. It's an old story. I haven't read it, but it's there. So
Cowabunga!
yeah. All right. So we got the monkey's paw again. This is my take on it. So kicking us off here, like it was the time of year again for the Thompson family to go on their annual vacation. Greg and his spouse were always interested in autumn-themed things like cider mills, that's spooky theming, and other Halloween fun, so they would always try to vacation during that season. I kind of like spider mills, now that I said it, on accident.
Spider Mills, yeah.
What goes on there?
That's pretty good, actually.
But why?
So this year they went to a small coastal town in New England to see the leaves and partake in the Big Pumpkin Bash. It was a spooky-themed festival, carnival games, spooky pumpkin sculptures, the hardest of ciders, and, of course, some unique shopping opportunities. So,
Sounds lovely.
yeah, you see what I'm going for here. Nice little New England town. It's fall. It's cozy. You know,
Yeah.
they're at this like pumpkin like bonfire thing.
Some
Like,
cider, get some donuts.
yeah, let's
Make a day of it.
Exactly. So it's like it's getting towards the evening. Like, yeah, it's just a nice little magical Halloween time. So Greg just had a blast, indulging in some hard cider and taking a hayride through a super spooky ghost town. So got off the ride and enjoyed a moment with his spouse. You know, ahead of them, Greg spots a shop that he really wants to go into. In big, bold letters, a sign reads, "Magnifique's Otherworldly Oddities." Greg's spouse found their own shop, so they split up and headed to their respective places.
Oddity shops are pretty cool, though,
Yeah.
to go into.
What do you find in there? I don't know. I've been in one.
I mean, like,
An oddities shop?
yeah, I had
They're around.
I had a tough time figuring out. I like had cauldrons bubbling, just some generic spooky
So
stuff.
it's like where you buy a gremlin.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like
if you
a
want like a
mogwai.
mogwai. Yeah. That's where you get one.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So Greg crosses the threshold and feels as if he entered into a dark and magical place. Cauldrons are bubbling. I told you. Torches and candles are flickering. The cashier had a wart.
There's
The attention to detail was incredible.
taxidermy animals around.
Like that.
As Greg walked the aisles, looking over the odds and ends, he saw something just so weirdly cool he just couldn't resist. He picks up the monkey's paw, turns it in his hands, inspect everything about it. The fingers are extended. It had a metal base. It could have been gold. At the bottom of the base, he sees a price tag. It's only $20. Something so cool, so cheap. This must be some kind of mistake.
I wouldn't even pick that thing up, let alone buy it for $20.
Yeah, he's like tossing and turning in his
He doesn't even
hands.
know about the wishes.
Yeah, no. We just thought it was cool. Like, remember him and his spouse, which I never gendered, so it could go either way.
He's gonna be like,
Be careful what you wish for.
spouse is gonna love this, and it's gonna be like this gross monkey thing that you're gonna keep around the house.
Oh yeah. That's where we're going. She hates it. I say she. It's they.
If I walked into an oddity shop and came out with a monkey's paw, all the lore and curse aside, my wife would be furious.
Oh yeah, that's mine would be too. It'd be terrible. Like that would immediately be like
Grow
thrown
up,
in the
Peter
trash.
Pan.
So like, at the checkout, Greg asked the cashier about the paw. What's the deal? Why is it so cheap? There's only one of them that he can see, and it feels authentic. So is it rare? The cashier, very self-conscious of Greg staring at their wart.
Every monkey has two, so it's not that rare.
Yeah, exactly. The cashier, very self-conscious of Greg staring at their wart, tells him that all purchases are final and won't even acknowledge his question. Greg figures, oh well, and he completes the purchase. So yeah, he's just staring.
So then he walks out and he says, "Man, I wish they had a looser return policy at this place." And then the finger goes, "Boom," and then he's able to go in and return it.
Yeah, like, oh, what? That'd be the
Before
end
the
of the
curse
story.
kicks in and he gets out of this nightmare.
So basically, he completes his purchase and, it eventually ends up meeting up with his spouse. On the way back to the hotel, Greg tells his spouse that, about the cool thing he bought. He pulls it out of the bag and is met with just disgust. Put that thing away, the spouse
Greg.
cried. Bummed out.
What are you thinking?
Exactly. Bummed out, Greg puts it back in his bag and he forgets about it the rest of the trip. So this way he just has the monkey's paw. It's just... basically, they tossed it in the trunk. They forgot about it. They're just on vacation.
Can you imagine that going through an X-ray at the airport?
That's a good point. I didn't really think of that.
Somebody's just be like, "Jesus Christ, shut it down!" This guy.
I guess to be fair, I have them driving on this one, so he could get away with it. He could. I guess if he's crossing a border, it might be a
Perfect
problem.
crime. Travel by land if you're. No, never mind.
Yeah. All right. So back home, Greg and his spouse unload the car and head inside. Such a fun trip, but they're exhausted and they just want to clean up and go to bed. Greg thought to himself that he could sleep for a week after all this. The spouse heads into the bathroom, get in the shower, while Greg finishes bringing in the rest of the bags. As he begins to set everything down, a bag tears open and out rolls the monkey paw. Oh yeah, Greg thinks to himself. He admired it for a few moments before he remembered how grossed out his spouse was.
He loves this thing.
He
for
really
some
does.
reason.
He's
Man,
all
I wish
about
I
it.
had a sweet display case for this thing.
I just can't stop looking at it.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that would have it in like a curio case for sure.
This guy's Greg, you said?
Yeah, his name's Greg.
Yeah, not into it.
Greg Thompson.
Yep, not for me, Greg.
So Greg, bummed out again, decides to put it away in the attic just to make the spouse happy. So he doesn't want to just throw it out. He spent $20 on it. So he's just like,
Just
you know what? I'll
out of
just put it
sight,
away.
out of mind.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to know, none the wiser. So later that night, as they're laying in bed, Greg's feeling a bit frisky somehow. His spouse just isn't into it, though. They just wanted to sleep. Greg tossed and turned for a while, just not able to sleep. After a while, he decided to get out of bed and grab a quick snack. Bathing in the glow of the fridge, Greg ate a couple of pickles and wondered why he was just so exhausted, but he just couldn't sleep. Thought crossed his mind, and he decided to go take another look at the monkey's paw. So, just having that midnight snack.
Yeah, you better just. Yeah, I can't sleep.
I
Better
just gotta go check that thing out one
Take
more
a peek
time.
at that monkey paw again.
Yep.
He doesn't even know that there's anything magical about
That's a
it.
good.
No,
look.
he just thinks it's cool.
Just a monkey's
That's a
paw.
good looking monkey paw.
So he lowers the attic stairs and he heads up, And Greg grabs the monkey's paw, and as he turns it over in his hands, he notices the price tag on the bottom starting to come off. Nobody can resist peeling away a tag, so on Greg went. Satisfied that he got all the paper and glue residue, he sees that the tag was covering a message. Written on the gold base was, "Wish with vigilance, for every dream casts a shadow." So spooky.
Very spooky.
So Greg thinks, that's so cool. That must make it more valuable.
Way cooler than a price tag.
So as Greg talked to himself about how much the paw must really be worth, he said to himself, "I wish I could sleep right now." And down Greg went. So he made his first wish.
So he's just bleeding out on the floor, concussed.
So
Is
how many,
my understanding. Family
how many
Guy
claws
fall.
does the monkey have?
We're 5. It's going to be just, the normal. So yeah, it's got 4 fingers and a thumb.
I almost said 4, but it's because I saw the Simpsons version.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, I guess it's 5.
Yep. So a while later, Greg wakes up in the hospital. He's got tubes everywhere. As he began to stir, a nurse runs into the room. What could be unhooked from Greg was, and when he could, Greg asked, "How long have I been out?" The nurse replies, "It's been 7 days." Greg's spouse runs into the room and hugs him, telling him how glad they are that he's okay, and asks,
I wish I could
"Why
sleep
did you
like
have
that
to
all
eat the
the time."
pickles?" I've been dealing with that all week. Sorry, I thought that was good little one. No,
I'll be honest,
All right.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, all right. Greg's spouse runs into the room and hugs him, telling him how glad they are that he's okay, and says, "Why did you have to eat the pickles? I've been dealing with that all week."
She's been waiting for him to wake up to
Chastise him about the
give
pickles.
him a hard time about eating all the pickles.
Gotcha. I think I missed the setup.
Yeah, he was late
so
at
very
night getting that
excited.
late night
Try to
snack,
keep up there.
eating the pickles.
It's a bit muffled. It's all right.
I'm sorry. Do I need to switch to the hat?
It's up to you. It's fine. I think that's.
All right,
That
I'm
might
gonna.
have been my fault.
I like the helmet.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I like it.
All right, I'm gonna go with Elvin a little longer. All right.
I'm glad you can stick it out.
On the way home, the spouse tells Greg about how the doctors just couldn't find anything actually wrong with him. It was like a coma that just manifested from nowhere. After continuing to find nothing wrong, they had to release him. They arrive home, and the spouse makes sure that Greg sits in his favorite chair. They get him some comfort foods. Greg's just very appreciative of all the fuss. But honestly, he feels great. He just slept for a week. It's like
good to
that's
go.
Exactly. How good would you feel?
Feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. But
I'm really
it sounds
not sure.
great.
I might have a lot of anxiety involved with such a long sleep.
Yeah, I mean, it's medically problematic, but he might feel good. Not sure. So, I mean, they had him on a feeding tube. It's not like he was starving. It was life. All right. So, as the day ends, the couple turned in for the night. Greg couldn't sleep, of course, because he just slept for a whole week. And then he just couldn't get a thought out of his head. The monkey's paw. He had to check it out.
Of course, it's been a week. I need to stare at my monkey's paw.
Gotta go give it a high five.
Yep, he had to check it out, but it couldn't be right then.
God,
the spouse
what
was
a
on
creep.
edge.
Just a creep.
The spouse was on edge, watching Greg between periods of drifting off to sleep. He didn't want to upset them by going up to the attic, and he definitely didn't want them to know about the monkey's paw. So we're already Greg's kind of keeping it to himself. He doesn't.
Good.
He's nobody really wants the monkey's paw in their life. A few days pass, and his spouse lets their guard down. It was time. Greg got up to the attic and saw exactly what he expected to find. One finger now curled up. Greg immediately began to think of a million more wishes.
Somebody broke my monkey's paw. Who was it? Was it you? Look at the finger. Was it like this?
It defaced the value.
Somebody must
God,
have
I
done
hate
this to
guy.
me.
So he's just thinking of a million more wishes before he stopped himself and set it down. No, I have to be careful. I accidentally wished for sleep and it came, but a full week of it was the price. Greg decided to sleep on it and think of the wish for another day. So he's trying right now. So one day, a tree falls on Greg's house.
He's onto it. He's got 4 more wishes, but he's figured it out. Here.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
he's onto it. He knew. He made the wish. He remembered it. Slept for a week, and it's yeah, that's kind of a problem. But one day, a tree falls on Greg's house. He cannot believe his luck. Money's been tight for a while, and he barely afforded that vacation. As Greg begins to despair, he thinks to himself, "This has to be my second wish. I have to wish for the means to fix the damage, and now I had to make him kind of stupid here." Because you would think that you could just like wish the house better and like get rid of the tree, but no, he wants the funds to fix it.
So that he can just endure all the construction and everything.
Basically, he has to go through a long, painful process.
Yeah,
because he's just kind of dumb here.
undo having the tree fall down.
Now I'm on some builder's schedule 8 months from now, hopefully.
Yeah, there's tarps everywhere.
Yeah.
He has to wish for a means to fix the damage. He carefully makes his way into the attic that night, where the tree had come through and caused a lot of damage. Greg finds the monkey's paw, and to his horror, the thumb has snapped off. There goes a wish, he thought, and then said,
Who did it?
he said, I wish I could fix the damage to my house from that tree, but I don't want anything illegal to happen for it to come true. So he's trying to put a stipulation on it. A finger curled.
You're boxing me in here.
Yeah, can you just write up like a lengthy legal document, like 80 pages, and just start with like, I wish,
Right.
blah, 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 and just there's not a loophole in
Clause
this thing.
B.
See it like just like
Paragraph
keep curling
6.
and uncurling, like not knowing what
Could
to
you
do.
hire a good lawyer to help you navigate a monkey paw situation? That's what I really want to know.
It's a
Wish
good
I had a
question.
good lawyer to help me navigate this situation.
I guess you could. I guess there really is.
So finger curls, but nothing seems to happen. Greg thought to himself, well, I guess we'll see. And he goes off to bed. The next day, Greg had to run some errands. He went to the bank to deposit a check, then the laundromat to drop off a winter blanket. His favorite coffee place was next door, so he just, decided to get himself a treat. As he parked the car and walked to the building, he noticed a crane doing some work on the place. Greg didn't really think much of it, as the place appeared to be open, so he walked to the door. As he reached the side of the building, a cable on the crane snaps, releasing the air conditioning unit that was hoisting it up onto the roof, and it fell, crushing Greg's leg. After some grueling time in the hospital,
The crane dropped the air conditioning unit
yep,
and it fell directly down
yep,
onto his leg.
yep.
He was
He
laying
was
down.
horizontal at the time of that.
Well,
He wanted to
Oh,
look at his
it's-
monkey paw from an angle he had never seen before. So he
He's
laid
taking a
on-
selfie with my monkey paw.
Yeah. Sitting on this step of a stoop. Yeah, I could see Greg doing something stupid.
Yeah,
like
Greg's
that.
dumb.
Stupid Greg.
After some grueling time in the
Okay.
hospital, Greg recovers, but he loses his leg. A lawsuit is launched, and he wins.
Man, I missed that sweet ass leg of
So
mine.
he got hurt and he immediately wanted somebody to pay. He goes, "Who did it? Who did it?"
Yeah, after everything's said and done, Greg has enough money to cover all his hospital bills and the damage to his house. But the problem, he got a large settlement, but since money had been so tight for a while, Greg had accidentally let his insurance lapse. So everything was out of pocket. He ends up with just enough to cover the damage that the tree did to the house, to the penny. But yeah, like I just see him like suing immediately. The coffee place goes out of business. So he loses his favorite coffee place and his leg, but he gets his house fixed.
Some would take that deal.
I feel like he could just say, I wish I would have never walked into that curiosity shop and just undo this at any point.
Yeah, but Greg's dumb. Like
That's
he's
the
dumb.
loophole.
He's gonna keep doubling down. Now Greg was back to fully repaired home, but short a leg. He knew for his next wish he had to really think about it. He slept for a week. He got money with nothing illegal happening, but he lost the leg for it. Greg continued to ponder the next wish as he pulled into his driveway after a leg appointment. He walked in the door, and the monkey's paw
My
is just
leg guy.
he walks in the door, and the monkey's paw is just on the table. His spouse looks very upset. So it's come to this.
So
You told
has
me you
any-
got rid of this thing.
Has anyone ever just had like a really handsome guy working at the oddity shop?
No,
Like,
they
it's
all
a-
got warts.
It's a normal, like I'm like a high school, like yeah, I run track and I
It's
work
a
at
hot
the Oddities.
topic.
Yeah, like so you're, and like he's just disinterested. Where there's like, what's this monkey paw about? And he's just like, I don't know, man. He's just clicking on his phone or something. And they're just like, all right, I guess I'll take it. And he's like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, with 20
Okay,
bucks.
boomer.
So the spouse is upset. Greg, I've noticed you going into the attic some nights. Is this what you were looking at up there? Why do you still have this? Greg was so taken aback at first, he just couldn't find the words.
It's like I was hoping I was gonna find porn up there. I found this.
God, this is so much worse. So after a moment, just Greg lets it all out. Tells the spouse all about the first wish for sleep and how he was so desperate for money to fix the house. After telling everything, the spouse pauses for a while, grabs the monkey's paw, finally says in a fit of anger, "That is so stupid, Greg. You can't expect me to believe that you believe all of this. It's just something gross you brought at a pumpkin-themed carnival. And even if it were all true, you never thought to see if maybe I wanted a wish? So he's in trouble.
That's true. People hitting you up for wishes. I never thought of that.
It's
like
not even a
winning the
real
lottery.
monkey's paw.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like winning the lottery and like wanting to keep quiet about it.
Yep.
This is made out of Play-Doh, Greg.
It's like getting a genie and all of a sudden people are bugging you like, my relative's sick, right? You're just like, yeah, get out of here. I only got 3 of these. Everybody's knocking on my door.
But Greg just stammers at the notion of this. Like, had they not heard everything he just went through? It's been a horrifying experience. As Greg tried to find the words, his spouse blurted out, "You can be so thoughtless sometimes, Greg. I wish I had someone who cared about me." A finger curls.
Ooh.
Yeah, the spouse has accidentally taken a wish, and that they
Was
had
she
somebody who
holding
actually
it?
cares about them.
Was she holding it at the time?
Oh yeah,
The monkey
yep,
paw?
yep. Spouse is holding it in the hands,
Yep.
tossing it around. Yep. Basically, I kind of pictured it as like they're like shaking it at Greg, like, just like pointing at him.
So gross. Like, is
I
it
know.
embalmed? What is the deal with this thing? You know?
Yeah, it's sometimes it's
Just,
sticky
like,
depending on the weather.
mummified? Dried out? I don't know.
So a finger curls. Greg and his spouse become silent as the spouse sets down the paw. They didn't speak for some time. As days go by, Greg notices the spouse is just becoming more and more distant and secretive about their devices. One day, Greg sees what he knew he would eventually find: evidence of his spouse's affair. Greg was hurt, but confronted his spouse. "How could you? You know this is the monkey's paw." The spouse coldly tells Greg that the affair partner cares about them deeply like no other could. It was an instant spiritual connection. Greg's spouse leaves him, and he despairs for some time. So world's closing in on him. It's not going well.
Yeah, monkey paws will ruin you.
Yeah. It will.
So
But he's still like, at least I got this sweet monkey paw.
Yeah. I can
so
look at this monkey paw all day now.
he's unaware of the curse, anything.
No,
Didn't
I
go
mean,
back
well, he understands there's a price for the wishes, but he was trying to
Oh,
outsmart it.
Oh. What,
Is this important?
No.
Need a pause or?
monkey paws.
All right, monkey paw, monkey paws.
All right.
All right.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good. After months of being sad and eating TV dinners, Greg decides he's going to wish again. He's got nothing less to lose, wanted to take a shot at happiness. He grabs a monkey's paw and he wishes, "I wish to always be right." So Greg does that, the finger curls, and nothing happens immediately.
Like he could get any more unlikable.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
This guy is such a know-it-all.
it? I'm right. I'm always right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate this guy.
Could you imagine? Yeah, it would be brutal. The next day, Greg plays the lottery and he wins big. He bets on horse races. He keeps winning. I know. Anytime something comes up in a conversation, Greg is always right. This really got into his head, and he became very smug. One day,
He can still be murdered, right? He can't just be correct his way in
Yeah.
self-defense, right?
right, exactly. But if
Somebody
he
could
tells
get
you he's going to
so
live, he probably
fed
will.
up. Him staring at his monkey's paw, flaunting his money, always winning,
Yep.
and just actually.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. So, yeah, just imagine how insufferable this person would be. So one day,
I hated him when he was just a guy in his attic looking at a monkey's paw.
yeah, now he's smug and always correct. One day, Greg gets asked to do an interview on a talk show with a live audience due to all the sports betting wins. So, like, he's a sensation. He's ecstatic. Greg can't get enough of Greg. Right before the show starts, Greg's checking out the news. What's that?
Greg
Of
starts
course he
talking to
can.
himself about himself in the third person.
Oh, yeah, he refers to himself in the third person. Absolutely. Probably calls himself the Gregster.
Greg can't get enough Greg.
So he's looking at the news. The big headline is about a murder-suicide in Greg's hometown. He clicks on the article and he reads, and there he finds the horrible details about the cult that his spouse wound up with and how they all killed themselves.
Does he become a police detective?
Yeah, he should.
Every hunch?
Yep, he's always right. So Greg's shaken by this news. They wished and they got their wish. They cared about him deeply, so deeply it was a cult. They all ended up killing themselves. So that was the spiritual connection. But Greg thinks to himself, he has yet to get his comeuppance. So So he's just kind of nervously sweating this, and the moment comes on the show.
Isn't he missing a leg?
Yeah, he's missing a leg. I'm sure he's got a pretty baller prosthetic, though, to be honest.
Once you start winning sports betting, you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
He's missing his left leg because he's all right.
It's got like some kind of weird
Always
thing
right.
with like an 8-ball for a kneecap.
Right.
Always right.
This is pretty good. Pretty good.
So the moment comes for the show, and he takes the stage. Things were going fine, but eventually, Greg started to become pretty emotional about the news of his ex-spouse. Instead of questions on his gambling addiction, the questions started to take a turn. The interviewer plus the audience began asking him questions. One audience member yells, "When will I die?" Greg responds immediately with an exact date 42 years from now. Catching on to this, the crowd quiets down. Several others start to ask the same question to Greg. He keeps answering. He's got varying dates, and they have some good years in between them. So people are asking, he's like, oh, yeah, you got like 36 years. You got like 40, like so on and so forth.
The next person asked me has got 30 seconds to get out of my sight.
Everyone's beginning to play along. That is, until Greg kept coming up with the same date for many audience members. Today. After enough time saying the same date, Greg stops.
There's just some guy in there like dressed as the Joker, and everybody just turns and looks at him. Like, what are you planning?
Yeah, what is going on here? But Greg stops, and the show ends. Once backstage, Greg frantically asks about the audience members. Anyone's going to listen. If there's any connection with them. A production assistant tells him, like, yeah, they were all bussed in from somewhere else in town. Greg pleads with anybody that can listen to him to not put them on that bus. Greg being always right, he was able to convince the production. They called out cabs for everyone that was going to be bussed back. Greg's relieved. He thinks to himself that he must have beat the system this time. He got them all separated. There's no way they could all go. As Greg drives away from the studio, he merges into traffic, and he sees numerous cabs in front of him. Thinks to himself, it's okay. They're all apart. What could possibly happen to all of them? As Greg finishes his thought, he's just shaken by a gigantic explosion that wipes out everything in front of him, all down to the last cab. A plane had just fallen out of the sky and exploded, which took out numerous cars in front of him. And as he witnesses the horror, a bus pulls up behind Greg, and the bus driver steps out to observe the damage.
Okay. It's a lot.
Yep, it's a lot.
It's a lot. We just got there.
Yep, some exposition there. The incident makes international news. Greg's being hounded by reporters and stalkers alike. Everyone he met wants to know how they would die. Greg becomes scared and detached. He's so scared and in such deep despair that he tried to think of anything that he could to escape this never-ending nightmare. The thought eventually occurs to him, the monkey's thumb! They had taken 4 wishes so far, and remember, the monkey's thumb was damaged in
Gotta go dig
mishap
it out
with
of the
tree.
attic somewhere.
Yep.
Just so a wish he didn't know about left.
Exactly.
Okay.
It had come apart. He just hadn't really thought about it, and yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go up there and I gotta grab this monkey's thumb. So Greg runs to the attic and he uncovers an old dusty box that contained the monkey's paw. All the fingers are clenched,
Like
and there's
beef
a
jerky.
detached thumb. Greg smashes the pieces together as he cries, "Please just work. Anything would be better than this." As the gruesome and mangled monkey's paw comes together, Greg screams, "I wish it would all just go away." Everything around Greg becomes simply nothing. The monkey's paw was no longer in his hands. Greg attempts to speak, but sound no longer exists. Hunger and other bodily systems no longer exist. There's no way to tell if he's moving or if there is anywhere to move to. All around him has simply ceased to be, and Greg is enveloped in nothing. It was a truly empty void, and that is where he would remain for eternity.
Going, ah.
No, he can't even make a sound. So that one really backfired on him.
Yeah, it's a monkey's paw.
You're not going to get out of that.
Plus, he deserves it. You're the only guy who doesn't know there's wishes involved. That's like, cool.
Yeah, I know.
And even has a girlfriend that he's just like, they're fighting about it.
Yep.
Yeah, he definitely ruined it.
Oh, yeah.
Ruined it for himself.
Yeah, Greg sucks. Like that's kind of the point of this.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's my takeaway.
Yeah, it was mine. I was going for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Greg,
well.
that's the end. Like that, he
that's-
just spends eternity in nothing.
So that's the spooky conclusion of story 1
Yeah.
of our triple feature spooktacular.
I like Spaceman's take on the monkey paw.
Well, I appreciate it. It was
It's like there's nowhere else to go from there, though.
no,
What
there's
I'm
not.
saying is you kind of
That's
always know you can't beat the monkey's paw. Has anyone ever beaten it?
Not that I'm aware of. I do like the lawyer idea though. He could have tried to lawyer it, and like it still found a loophole.
I feel like that would how it would like. 'Cause that's always like the genie.
He's like, they like hold the paw. Like, do you swear? Solemnly swear?
well, it's like the genie in Aladdin was like he tell you like you can't wish for more wishes. That's pretty straightforward. But then it would come to a guy where he's like just lawyers the shit out of a monkey's paw or a genie one time, and then now when the genie can't just tell you can't wish for more wishes, he'll be like you can't wish for more wishes, and then he's gonna have his own lengthy document, and then it just becomes like it's just gonna be tied up in court forever, just you and your genie's lamp.
No, I like it. It should have some of that cool like crime show music to go with it, like. Burr, burr.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, there's part one. It was my take on the monkey's paw. I'd been wanting to write one about that for a little while now.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So yeah,
Very
and,
spooky.
yeah.
Very Halloween.
A little
Be
spooky.
careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh. All right,
Well-
so part 2's coming up next. I think we'll take a short break
Are
here.
we doing a break or? are we
Yeah, just
A
a
quick
couple of minutes.
switcheroo.
Are we doing a switcheroo?
I don't think so.
Do we need to switch?
I mean, I
know.
am going to take the hat, the helmet off for,
Oh, okay.
for the rest of them at this point.
So I'm ready to go.
All right.
I mean, I guess I'm just listening. So.
I got to do this the whole time, like the pictures.
That is even better. That really is better.
Hey, Armageddon, relax.
Yeah. Nobody's going to teach me how to drill for oil.
Oh, that's good.
all
I
right.
like it. Good stuff.
All right, I don't know if we're actually doing this. I'm Spaceman.
Rocket Man.
No, I think we can just go.
All right,
We'll be
well.
we're gonna just go with the second story here.
I'm Savage. This is the second story of our triple feature Halloween Spooktacular.
Okay.
This story is about a big city couple who settled into a long-term relationship, have grown apart, and lost the spark. One day, he notices a strange key on her key ring.
Ooh, is it a skeleton key?
Nathan and Rochelle met standing in line at the bank. He worked in IT, and she was a receptionist. They were both in their 20s, and they hit it off right away. The relationship started out great, but they've drifted apart lately. Over the years, they've both gotten lazy. They've gained a lot of weight. They've
Yeah,
heard
that happens.
they've heard all the other stories. They learned all their quirks. The couple have been living together in the same apartment for years, and the spark has faded. Now, in their 30s, the childless couple have been arguing more and more frequently, and when they weren't bickering, they spent most of their time sedentary, silently scrolling on their phones.
I feel attacked.
This
It's a little relatable.
This is
Yeah, minus the bickering. I feel attacked for everything else.
One day, during a particularly heated fight, Rochelle says, "I'm going to go for a jog." Nathan rolls his eyes, as neither of them had worked out in years.
Yeah, like get real, Nathan. Nathan's famous jog
Nathan
over
is
here.
probably the closest name to Spaceman. No,
Whoa.
just kidding. Like if I had to sit down and think of one. No, just kidding.
No, it's got to be something better than that. Come on.
Neither of them had worked out in years, but
I don't know.
she
Jason?
she squeezed into her old exercise clothes and slams
Female
the
name,
door back
Spaceman.
behind her. Nathan, left alone for dinner, microwaves a frozen burrito and eats it over the kitchen sink.
Are you sure you're not following me around?
Rochelle returns home a while later, sweaty and winded from obviously having exerted herself during the run. She showers and spends the rest of her evening on her phone, silently scrolling through activewear and exercise equipment.
All right, Nathan's the one that's just bullshitting about going to jog, right? Like, I heard that right?
Rochelle,
The wife went running.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the wife that went running.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you were saying Nathan. I was like, yeah, bullshit. All right, come on. Okay, so she's gonna go running and she's trying to find some Spanx.
You're hoping that was evidence that it wasn't you. You went running, not a chance.
Damn it, he's really on point.
No, he got you for eating over the sink.
Yeah, I know.
You bastard, how are you doing this?
over the next few weeks, Rochelle has been working out regularly. She's taking supplements, having packages delivered to their apartment. One day, Nathan notices a strange key on her key ring. She's had the same key for years. Car key, key to their apartment, one for her office. This new key looks different.
It's spooky.
He tried to brush it off, but he can't shake a strange feeling about that key. Rochelle, however, seems like she's been in a better mood lately. She's been more energetic and has even been more romantic.
Yeah, she's getting away from Greg, or Craig, whoever the guy is. She's getting away from him sometimes.
Nathan. Nathan is her brother. Something that they've been lacking for some time now. So at first, Nathan thinks, this is all great. Rochelle is looking more fit. She's smiling more, and they have newly invigorated romance, but something seems odd.
It's that goddamn key.
Fucking everything up somehow. He's got to figure out how.
She's jingling the keys, just eyeballing it. It's like, I don't like the sound it makes
the
either.
weight distribution's all off when I sit.
One night around 2 a.m.
One key too many for this pocket.
One night around 2 a.m., he woke up to her quietly giggling in her sleep. He asked her about it later the next day.
Quietly jingling, you mean?
She simply says, it must have been a funny dream, and left it at that. Rochelle has been acting kind of secretive with her laptop and her phone. One day he walked in.
Just an audience member to her own dream. Just like a big character comes in. Woo!
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Sit in the stands of your own dreams.
One day he walked in kind of quietly and noticed she was on a new app. It seemed to Nathan that she was looking through some kind of menu of products, but he couldn't tell exactly what.
Is that Tinder?
He didn't think much of it until he spoke and she jumped. Her reaction seemed frazzled, as though she had just been caught somehow. But she dismissed his questions and quickly changes the subject.
Can it be like a really horrified scream, though? Just like straight up like a Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura. Like, It's gotta be comical. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Nathan, he's starting to get a little suspicious. Rochelle's been going to the gym a lot, keeps having all these packages delivered to her apartment, but she has been acting very happy lately. On the surface, things seem to be going great, but Nathan has never really been one to pry, but he's got to find out what's really going on. It just doesn't all add up here.
What the hell's in these packages? She's got a weird key. She's got all these packages coming in. Is he not seeing her open the packages? She like in the garage like a goblin just opening up Amazon packages?
So to add to his turmoil, all throughout the city, he starts noticing all of these other couples who seem very close, very happy. He noticed that they're all very fit and attractive. They're all very fit and attractive. Big smiles, they're laughing and flirting and perfect.
All right, now I feel attacked about the fit.
Obviously they've been going through a rough patch, but deep down, Nathan truly loved Rochelle. So at work, Nathan casually mentions to a buddy all the strange things that he's been experiencing. His friend Tony says, "What are you complaining about?"
Tony walks in. Woo! Yeah, he goes to talk, but he has to wait for the audience to chill out.
Just has to stand there for a minute, just like when they all just make those looks.
Applause.
Hands on the hips, just smiling, shaking his head like, you guys.
Tony says, "What are you complaining about? Look at the bright side. She's in a better mood. She's healthier, looking better, and you're even getting lucky more often. Whatever she's doing seems to be working out well for both of you."
He's like, "We both know I'm not the one doing that.
Maybe you should think about hitting the gym with me after work." Now, Nathan had to admit he had let himself go over the years. He was so focused on worrying about Rochelle's actions.
See, I feel like that's the other side of it. You can get really suspicious. Your spouse starts getting fit out of nowhere. But then there's also the other part of it where they're getting super fit and you're still a slug and you're like, shit. It's coming.
I'm never going to catch up.
She's going to bring it up. This is going to get bad.
He realizes he should be putting in the same effort. He says,
letting the air out of her tires. Getting into the gym.
You're right. I will go to the gym with you. So Nathan signs up for a trial membership at the gym, and he did his best to keep up with Tony, who was in much better shape. At the gym, it appeared as though all of the people who were in the best shape were the happiest. They didn't seem to struggle through exercise routines, making even the most difficult ones seem effortless. Smiling and laughing, not even breaking a sweat. Couples were holding hands and locked eyes on the treadmill, head over heels in love. It was frustrating for Nathan, who was out of practice and overweight. What's even more strange is the most fit people all seem to be wearing the same brand of workout clothes, and duffel bags all have the same black and green logo.
Okay. Why do I feel like this key is eventually going to go to some kind of chastity belt or something? I don't know why. I'm getting that vibe.
So, sore and exhausted, Nathan rode the subway home from the gym, heading back to their apartment. In the passenger car, he notices a disheveled man scrolling on a smartphone who keeps laughing.
Yeah, stuff's funny on the internet.
There's some good stuff on there.
It starts out as a small chuckle here and there. Keeps happening.
This man's enjoying the internet.
Keeps happening louder and louder each time.
I just go there for bad news.
It's disrupting all the other passengers.
He's laughing louder and louder each time as if he's watching a 10 funniest videos countdown compilation or something.
What is going on over there?
But who knows? Yeah, the man could be he could have AirPods in, listening to something funny. But a few miles before Nathan's exit, the man's
Definitely not this podcast.
The man is uncontrollably cackling at laughter.
It must be. I mean, maybe it is us.
I'm feeling pretty hurt by this whole thing.
My first guess, but maybe.
Yeah.
No.
He's uncontrollably cackling. At the next stop, the creepy man gets up out of his seat and he shuffles off the train, laughing hysterically.
All right, if he's creepy enough, maybe it is us.
Yeah.
He enjoys.
You're getting warm.
Nathan,
You're way too warm.
Nathan notices the man is missing his entire right arm, but in his left hand he's still holding the smartphone. Nathan caught a glimpse of the screen. The laughing man was scrolling the same app that he'd seen Rochelle using days before.
Oh, he's on Tinder?
So he was listening to us, and he heard the joke from earlier about being all right when he was missing a leg, and then one arm guy really enjoyed it. He goes, "That's good.
God, that's good."
I use that sometimes."
It's the same app that Rochelle's using days before. It had the same black and green logo.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
Nathan
Westeros Wildfire Tinder.
decides to finally confront Rochelle when he gets home. Walking up the stairs in his apartment, he could see in front of their apartment there was several nondescript boxes piled up outside of their door.
I bet there was a lot of packages piled up outside your door. If everybody there's all wearing the same, they're in some kind of orgy club.
Yeah, they got Speedos. They're arranging these things. Like, yeah, come on now.
Yeah, she's been having a lot of boxes delivered lately, but there must be dozens shipping packages of various sizes and shapes. He could barely squeeze by them to unlock the door.
That one was too oblong.
As soon as he walks inside, Rochelle greets him at the door. She's looking like a knockout, with a new hairstyle, nails, and makeup done perfectly. She's in the best shape of her life, wearing a little black dress he'd never seen before.
He walks in, he goes, "Ah, shit."
Oh, so you're leaving me.
Read
You
the
reached
writing
your final
on,
form.
Read
I'm
the
done
writing on
for.
the wall. He can hardly take his coat off. She immediately starts kissing him. Nathan knows he looks like a mess after a long day at work and struggling at the gym, but he's obviously into it and he's happy to see her. But it also seems like over-the-top behavior, which was a bit much and out of character for Rochelle.
Yeah, Nathan's just like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Like, this is great.
Kind of out of character
riding
behavior
it
for her. For how weeks before she would have been not so forward or dressed so flashy.
Yep.
He starts devising plans to
So-
sneak extra sugar into all her meals.
Jizo Pete's, did you order a whole new wardrobe? He asks, playfully teasing her about all the boxes. Now, she laughs as she walks into the other room, but laughs like weirdly, like just for a little bit too hard.
Yeah,
Like the guy on the bus.
Yeah. It's like, no, those are all creepy dolls. I
What
collect
he said
creepy
was
dolls
not
now.
that funny. So he walks into the bathroom where she keeps the supplements. He wants to take a closer look. The container was black with green text. He could only read the name of the product. Don't wait. Be happy. All the
Good
rest
marketing.
Yeah, that's not bad.
all the rest of the
Damn.
text was in foreign language.
Before
Yeah,
this goes out, we might need to trademark
Yeah,
that.
you gotta launch that.
He opened the lid and looked inside.
Don't fuck us if somebody listens to this.
Yeah,
Don't
we all
screw
came
us
up
on
with it
this.
together.
We all came up with it together.
You see it here.
Saw it on video.
These capsules look like basic vitamins. They're light brown in color, no smell. He screwed the lid back on and walked into the bedroom
So she's just on pills.
where Rochelle is fixing her makeup.
She's just started abusing pills. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah,
All right.
just a bunch of drugs flowing around a gym.
Yeah, you gotta find some way to just be
I'm
married
losing
to
weight.
Nathan.
I have all this energy. Can't stop shopping. Just constantly clicking and shopping.
Like, I'm jittering, but it's worth it.
So he says, all right, I think it's time for you finally tell me what's really been going on.
What is this? Smack? Huh?
Rochelle responds that she's got exciting news. Nathan gets a nervous feeling in the pit of his stomach.
Oh, it's an MLM pitch. I can sense it. Oh, no.
I've been keeping it secret because I wasn't sure if I'd be any good at it, but I accepted a sales rep position with a new company, and I have been absolutely crushing it lately.
Sacklers.
Oh, boy. So it's a multi-level marketing scam for those that are uninitiated.
For pills?
Yeah.
Supplements.
Yeah. Pills.
So I got a big bonus each of the last 2 months, and today they offered me a promotion and invited us to a special dinner event tonight that's reserved for their top earners.
I'm a diamond level executive regional manager. You're never going to believe it. It only took me 2 days.
Relieved and happy to hear about her success, Nathan hugs Rochelle and congratulates her on her newfound career. She explains that through her internet research, she stumbled upon this overseas MLM called Don't Wait, Be Happy. They are the most rapidly expanding new company and we're seeking local sales reps to help spread the word about their new Wonder Pill.
We seriously got to lock that down.
Yeah, seriously. Trademark. We won't finish this.
First uttered on the show,
Copyright.
intellectual property. We need to get that fucking lawyer from the monkey paw story in here.
Seriously.
The company boasts that their supplements are the most effective weight loss aid ever available and that it also doubles as an antidepressant. That everyone who takes these supplements lose more weight than any other method and are also happier than they've ever been. The proof is in the data, and the company has been so successful with their supplement line that they've expanded their offerings to include meal plans, clothing, and other fitness products.
All right. So you got like Amway or whatever the hell here.
They changed it to Quick Star after the bad press.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, they deserved it. Anyways.
Stay away.
They want me to be an influencer, a face for the company, and to share my testimony using the supplements. I've lost 48 pounds in 2 months, and I've already recruited 20 other salespersons in my drop line.
All I had to do was take a bunch of pills. Who would have thought?
They're so impressed with my work that
I
we
have a
get...
strategy called First One's Free. I've got 20 people underneath me right now.
We get to go to a fancy dinner tonight and be some of the first to eat at the new healthy restaurant downtown before the grand opening.
Ugh.
Rochelle could hardly contain her excitement.
It sounds bad.
Isn't it kind of crazy that when you get into selling something like this, good sales techniques is literally just peer pressure? Like, that's all it is just, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
It's the same thing, but it's just on a professional level now.
Nathan showers and changes into nice clothes, and they Uber to their destination. During the car ride, they hear an advertisement for Don't Wait, Be Happy on the radio.
Dude, does it have a little jingle? I'm kind of picturing it now. Don't wait. Be happy.
No, I think that's too close to the other one.
Yeah, fine.
You
Well,
can't-
you get the idea.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious.
You got to put the
one
emphasis
that
on a
you
different
can't
one.
do.
Don't wait. Be happy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't
I didn't bring the
wait.
intensity on that one.
I think a period after every word.
He hears the advertisement on the radio. Rochelle sparks up a conversation with the driver who asks, does it really work as well as they claim? She gives him her new business card for a free sample of the supplements and promises to double his income if he joins her team.
Just gotta snort 8 pills a day, and you'll be right on your way.
Nathan now recalls that he had been seeing a few billboards and pop-up ads for the new product more and more frequently lately. I guess it really is gaining popularity.
Yeah, it's great marketing.
Yeah, it's incredible. We need to lock it down.
It could be a placebo, and people would still be like, "Yeah, I'm on that shit."
Is that what their strategy is, though? Instead of eating food, we're just going to have you eat like 24 pills a day that are going to make you nauseous. So you just don't want to eat. I feel like that's what they're peddling here.
So they're dropped off at the front entrance of the new restaurant. It has the same black and green logo. The delicious smell emanating from the grill was enough to make Nathan's mouth water in anticipation. He and Rochelle walked in the door of the very upscale restaurant. "Ah, welcome. Table for two?" The maitre d', a tall, thin, middle-aged man.
Then he looks at both of them and like looks over to Nathan like, I guess 2.5. Sorry, I had to make fun of his weight. It's been a while.
So he offers to take their coats. As he reaches out for them, Nathan notices that the maitre d' is missing 3 fingers on his left hand.
2 wishes left.
Yeah, right. Are they curled?
They're escorted through the dining area. There are a few other couples on the at the tables, and they all look very happy and well-dressed. They're all in great shape. Nathan and Rochelle...
Looking around going, God damn it.
Nathan and Rochelle are sat at a fancy table in the middle of the room. Waitstaff light a candle in the center of the table, and they pour champagne and water for them.
Nathan sits down in the booth, his like gut scrapes against the table.
Knows where he goes,
Son of a...
This is one of those restaurants I'm going to have to get McDonald's after this. I'm still going to be hungry.
This is like, I didn't know salad smelled good on the grill, but it's still not going to do the trick.
So Nathan asks for a menu. Rochelle and the staff members all have a good chuckle. They all laugh. Explaining at this restaurant there is not a menu to choose from. It's a 5-course meal that will be brought out to their table throughout the evening. Just then, the first plate arrives.
It's too many.
It's an appetizer course, an ornately decorated plate with fancy meat served in small slices garnished with greens. Before taking a bite, Nathan says, "Excuse me a moment, I need to use the restroom," and gets up from the table. The maitre d' says, "Certainly, sir, it's the second door on your left," and points him down a hallway.
Probably immediately proceeds in there and eats a bunch of cashews he had in his pocket.
He'd already hidden cake behind the toilet like Michael Corleone.
Pull some bologna out of his shoe.
This appetizer is not going to be enough. Nathan walks away from the dining area and past the first door, but instead of turning left, Nathan sees another door and turns right.
Goes into the ladies' room. He's arrested.
That's where I put the pie. I gotta get that.
Nathan walks through a set of double doors into an unlit room.
It's the pantry. He doesn't return to the dinner table.
God damn it, how did I end up in the cooler?
He's in an unlit room. His eyes take a moment to adjust to the darkness. It seemed he is in a large, empty commercial kitchen / food prep area.
Left all
It's got
alone.
stainless steel countertops, sinks, professional range with hooded vents, and metal racks of various cookware. On an island table in the middle of the room, he can make out a shape laying motionless on the countertop.
Gordon?
It looks like a large slab of beef.
All right.
As his night vision comes into focus, Nathan realizes in horror what he's looking at. It's a limbless torso of a human body.
Spooky.
The head is turned away from him. Nathan is unable to recognize whose lifeless body laid in front of him.
Oh, so they're eating long beef tonight. Or is it long pork? I think it's long pork. Yeah? No? Okay.
As Nathan takes a step closer, suddenly the head turns towards him and says, "Oh, hey, I'm Todd," with a big smile.
Ugh. So now he's like, God damn it, I was going to eat this guy.
It is not a dead body. This person is very much still alive.
So he is going to have to get McDonald's after this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd definitely. I'd probably not go to Arby's or something, though.
He thought he lucked out getting into the kitchen all alone. He was going to make himself the fattest sandwich out of this torso. And then it starts talking. He goes, ah.
I'm like, damn it. So, like, care if I slice off a bit of the shoulder or something? So I was like, yeah, I can go for it.
Yeah, he walks into this dark kitchen. He sees this terrible thing on the table.
Todd.
Then Todd turns with a big smile and says, "Hey, I'm Todd. They just took my last leg, but I've still got some good meat over here." Todd gestures with a nod towards his right side. The
He's
limbless
hospitable about it.
The limbless man is smiling enthusiastically. Mortified, Nathan backs out of the room. He runs back to their table, green in the face at the thought of what's happening.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I'm going to be honest.
Rochelle is just.
I will say a very startling moment, the turning the head and hi, I'm Todd.
Yeah.
However, these days, they'd put it in the trailer anyways.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, at least the first part where it just like it turns and the eyes like
Record
open
scratch.
wide open.
We're giving you the trailer here. This isn't the full movie.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
the
just
sizzle reel, just like
Okay.
Todd's leg or
Yeah.
whatever.
He runs back to their table, green in the face at the thought of what's happening. Rochelle's just finishing the appetizer plate. She smiles and moans with satisfaction, licking her fingers clean as Nathan returns to the table.
They have
Says,
really great pigs in a blanket here.
"Get up. We are leaving right now." She says, "Why? What's wrong?" she asks calmly. The wait staff begin to gather around the table. "Is everything okay with your meal?" He says, "No, it's not okay. These people are sick.
They're eating Todd.
They're serving human meat." "Yeah, I know," Rochelle chuckles. "I've already accepted my promotion."
This is Sweeney Todd.
She lifts her arm up to show she's hooked up to an IV drip and she's being prepped for surgery. "I'm working my way up the ranks, and after they remove this arm, I will weigh so much less. I'm happier than I've ever been. My boss Todd said I could be regional supervisor in 6 months if I keep up the good work."
Diamond level? Well, I hope so.
The testimonies are all true, exclaims Todd as the staff push him forward in a wheelchair.
He's just like on a dolly. I'm picturing just like strapped to an appliance dolly.
Oh. Consistent use of our products lead our customers to lose more weight and live happier lives. I'm living proof. I'm back down to my grade school weight.
It is impressive,
Yeah, it is.
I will say.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Wonder Pill they're touting as the most effective weight loss treatment ever. So Nathan is horrified. All the staff, the patrons, and even his love of his life, Rochelle, have been brainwashed. They're all too happy to be partaking in this grotesque cannibalist MLM. The creepiest fact is that they're all willingly consenting to donate their limbs to be used as supplements to recruit more members. And once you get a taste for the human meat, it corrupts their brains, causing uncontrollable laughing fits.
Well, we all know that's true. I mean, come on.
So the miracle pill, the wonder drug.
Yeah, it was like Valium, right? Vicodin.
It's human meat.
The pills were human meat.
They were using.
Huh.
They were giving people the
There's a weight
supplements.
loss.
Oh, okay, I thought it was
yeah.
smack.
And then
That's
once you get a
very
taste
wrong of
for
me.
that, then you
Okay.
have
You
to
start just giving up chunks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty weird end game. I don't know, like.
Yeah,
dude,
I mean, I will admit, we said it was good marketing. I don't know that I would go in that far with it.
yeah, it's
think,
a little deep. I'd probably leave out the cannibalism if I was gonna
Pills, maybe.
brand it. Yeah.
The surgeries, I'll even say maybe. But when you're just removing limbs, I feel like that's a hard sell.
Yeah, I mean, we all got a little weight we can drop.
So
if
there's
you wanna
got to be
take
a
that, but
madness
that's it.
involved. You know what I mean? Either in the town or you understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you. Like, yeah, like, I don't know. I wouldn't like to be strapped to an appliance dolly the rest of my life just to be down to my like 7th grade
Yeah,
weight.
they're all too happy to do that. And
Yeah, I wouldn't see that and be like, God, I wish I was Todd. You know?
Yeah, I'd like to
Todd's
see
doing, yeah.
I'd like to
Todd's
see
the
some-
VP of Don't Wait, Be Happy.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see some testimonials from like some like random customer spouses.
Can I get a testimony from not Todd, please? I'm gonna need more than this.
Yeah, so like, my wife lost 100 pounds and 4 limbs on whatever the hell this crap is, and he's just like giving a thumbs up and like big toothy smile.
He's got only the thumb left.
So we can't forget we're gonna have to name these movies. So we're gonna call that one, it's spooky. Is it gonna be No Zempic?
No, it's called Don't Wait with WEIGHT. Don't wait to be
Oh,
happy.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're marketing.
God,
Gee,
that's
start
even
running
better.
Our social
And,
media.
so-
Son of a bitch.
Obviously, there's, every couple of years there's some kind of like snake oil, wonder pill,
every couple of weeks.
shit
Yeah.
that comes out or whatever. And so that was partly a big inspiration for this.
Yeah.
And
People do
there's,
get talked into very
it's the
dangerous
grift.
diets and stuff.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Exactly.
So, I mean, this is obviously an extreme example, but it's not that far off. People are.
Yeah, we've all deleted some people from social media for seeing too many MLM pitches. We've all done it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you hit a point. You're like, they keep inviting you to like it. You're I refuse to like this.
Does it look like
click this.
I have that kind of body? like clearly I'm more of a fan of Doritos. So
Do you
please
see this
leave me be.
mullet? I have enough leggings.
Exactly. My skin is flawless. I don't need skincare products.
Yeah.
Get away from me.
But it's kind of like the double, like it's the perfect thing because it causes this weight loss and it's also an antidepressant. But
Yeah.
it like brainwashes your mind, and once you get the taste for it, then you're in there. And then they're like, oh, we'll give you a discount on the supplements if you join our team and you recruit other people.
Well, then you're in just a weight loss competition nationally where if you can hit the top of it, you're now like the golden boy of this company.
That is the quickest way to lose weight is just to
I can't think of anything quicker.
So,
That's
the
pretty
proof
much
is in their
what we're
results.
saying. Push-ups?
I
Cardio?
do weigh less.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Well,
right. So don't wait. I didn't come up with a name.
Pretty
for mine.
horrific.
Yeah, it is. Obviously it's kind of a Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Yeah, I can
type
see
of-
the
type
Black
of
Mirror.
feeling, so-
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. You have to think about the monkey spot.
Yeah, I don't have a title.
I do have a title for my movie.
All right, what you got?
We're going to get right into this. This one I like to call Submitted for Your Approval of the Midnight Society.
It's a little wordy.
Well,
That's Are You Afraid of the Dark reference.
Maybe you didn't have Nickelodeon.
When you going to throw some sparkles into the fire?
If I had one, I
Make
would.
it change
I 100%
green?
would.
Oh my god, I saw like there was actually like a chart of how you get the different colored flames. I saw something about it recently. I want to try it out. It'd be so sweet.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Well, this movie is called The OnlyFans Witch.
The OnlyFans wish.
Witch.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
The OnlyFans Witch.
I follow now.
Yes.
Okay.
Any thoughts, or do you want me to just get into this?
I have a feeling we're going to be getting into it. I think I'll reserve my thoughts.
Okay.
I see where this is going.
So the movie starts with two men hanging out at a bar. Schmitty and Doug. Didn't you have a Doug?
Schmitty.
Somebody just had a
I had a
Doug.
Greg. He had a
Greg.
Todd.
Nathan.
And a Nathan.
So
we got
yeah.
a Doug now. Okay.
So they're hanging out at a bar. They're showing each other funny internet videos on their phones. Doug asked Schmitty, did you get the one I sent you of the blank? I was trying to think of what's the funniest internet video.
And this dramatic gopher or chipmunk.
Well, it'd be
or
like
whatever
something
it
you
was
haven't
called.
seen. Somebody describes it, and you're like, oh, man, I got to see that. Like the craziest.
Yeah, dramatic chipmunk.
Double rainbow.
Yeah, that one's great.
A dramatic chipmunk turns and looks at the double rainbow.
Yeah, it's got really intense music. You got to see it.
Yeah. So, and he goes, well, no, I don't have TikTok, so I just skip those ones. And he goes, I don't trust it with all the talk of banning it. And besides, aren't we too old for that? And Doug says, not at all. It's just like any other social media. It just gets a bad rap because it's from China. Seriously, download it. That's where my best videos come from. So Schmitty's showing later, sitting on his couch watching the dramatic chipmunk video.
It's like, God, this algorithm.
Yeah, he's
So good.
He's watching it. He's laughing. He clicks the like button and he goes starts swiping through videos, but he gets to one that's not a video at all, but a live stream of a model talking to commenters.
Ooh.
Yes, and he just
Spooky.
stares. It's the most beautiful woman he's ever seen.
Oh. So he's stunned.
Yes,
Just can't look away.
he's like, there's women on here. So he starts typing hello in different ways and deleting it before settling on a hey girl, hey, with a bunch of Y's at the end.
Bunch of eyes and like a winky face at the
Yeah.
end.
His heart is racing. The woman immediately responds, hi, how are you doing, Big City Schmitty? Welcome in. He immediately clicks the follow button and a message appears, you are now following 100% that witch. Which is a Lizzo
Nice.
reference.
Yes,
don't know.
I understood that reference.
Okay. I didn't
Keep
know if
it
anybody
100.
Yeah, I am married to a person that listens to music.
would. Well, so, I mean, where are we at now? Where's the thoughts? Don't worry, it's tastefully done. We talked about this.
Oh man, so it's coming in this one.
You can tell the description. I was thought of this concept, and I was like, is this too? We're marked not safe for work, but I was like, this is dirtier than what we've normally done, and I didn't want to tell them anything about the movie. And I go, this is the test. I go, is a queef joke too much? And what was the response you gave me, Spaceman?
As long as it's tastefully done.
Tasteful.
And I'll leave that up to you, but I will say, I think so.
Artsy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got to have some class.
Artsy
So-
fartsy.
Schmitty keeps typing her messages, but she just won't read them. She has a lot of viewers and seems to be giving the most attention to those giving her gifts. So TikTok has a gift system. I don't know if you have. I have a TikTok because of this podcast to promote it or whatever.
I am not aware. I am social media inept.
So you go in the lives. They've literally gamified it. It looks like they're almost in a slot machine. Where like you don't just like one time like on other things. You literally sit there and just keep tapping the screen.
So you just spam like?
You spam like, and they rack up hundreds or thousands. And then people give gifts, which are actual money, where the person streaming gets a cut of it. TikTok gets a cut, but you buy it, and it's just it's an animation like you'd see on a slot machine.
Yeah,
like you're just seeing. It's like, oh, that gave you a rose, and it just pops
double
up. It's like,
rainbow.
It's a little yeah. You could be a double rainbow gift. So perfect, because I know where we're going with this next. So, but anyways, it tallies and it shows people like who your top gifters are and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, so he's getting ignored. He just came in there. She gave him the what's up. He's like, oh, she said my name. And now it's, whatever. He's gone. Yeah. So he realizes what's happening. He lets out a sigh, reaches for his wallet. He enters his card info and gifts her a double rainbow animation for 50 cents. She goes, ooh, thanks, Big City Schmitty, for the double rainbow. And he tells her she's more beautiful than a double rainbow, and she doesn't respond. She
goes a triple rainbow.
Yeah, she goes back to chatting with her bigger gifters. Schmitty starts to get jealous. Right?
Okay.
Okay. I wish you knew TikTok. Somebody gets this, and they're just like, yes, that's what's going on there.
Yeah, I'm not into the trendy stuff. I'm sorry.
He gave her the low budget gift and it got a shout out, but like that's not enough for.
Yeah, exactly. And I can only imagine the numbers that some of these internet girls are doing.
It's got to be really hard to drink beer in space. Sorry.
They use a straw.
They gotta have a system. So Schmitty wakes up to realize he stayed up way too late. He overslept and now he's very late for work. He rushes to the office, skipping breakfast at first because he has no time. But then he decides to skip lunch as well because he spent almost $30 on TikTok gifts last night trying to get 100% of that witch's attention. He's distracted all day at work. He keeps checking his TikTok app to see if she's gone live, but she hasn't. He starts reading her profile and realizes that she also has an OnlyFans, which I'm pretty sure they all do. Going through the TikTok. That's what I'm getting at is here is like literally TikTok seems to be on the lives. Like it's like a gateway to only like that's where they advertise.
TikTok's a gateway drug.
That's what I'm saying is that's what I'm getting at with this is like because they like it's all advertising.
Everyone's selling something.
Well, pretty much. So it's like you scroll through and it's like if it's a pretty girl, that shit's probably like cash at me. Here's my OnlyFans. Whatever. But anyways, her bio advertises that she will respond to DMs for subscribers. So he's obsessed with her. That's all he wants is the response. So he signs up immediately and sends her a "Hey girl, hey" DM. And he keeps checking throughout the day, but gets no response. Hours later, he's called into.
He's got to like question everything. I shouldn't have said it.
Well, exactly. Just deleting and retyping
it sounded
it.
so stupid.
Exactly. So he's doing this all day at work. Like keeps checking throughout the day. Did she respond? Whatever. And hours later, he's called into his boss's office. Apparently, he's been connected to work Wi-Fi all day, and his browsing history basically shows he's been on OnlyFans all day because he's just refreshing the messages. Even though he was just checking DMs, the worst is assumed, and he's shit canned so hard. Luckily,
he's super fired.
Luckily, his contract awards him severance, which will give him several months' pay and continued health insurance. He arrives at home sad and defeated until his phone chimes a strange tone it's never made before. He's received a DM from 100% that witch. It reads, "Hey boy, hey." He melts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It worked.
He starts typing a response when he gets a message from TikTok that she's gone live. He sits on the couch and starts watching. He has no reason to go to bed early tonight. He's been fired.
Oh no. I don't want to know any of the details of this.
No, don't worry. Tastefully done.
Boy.
He notices. Don't. We're not even mentioning it. You're the one mentioning it at this point. He notices that the same top gifters from last night are back. Flagrant Vagrant and Dr. Boner. He decides he must outgift them as they are receiving all of her attention. He sends other gifts where he can fit in cheesy pickup line that is somehow relevant. It's working. So, and some of these gifts I think are like $100 or like it's crazy.
Jeez.
Like, and I don't understand who's on
How do
there that
people
deserves
afford
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like they know that free porn exists, right?
Yes.
It's like it doesn't have to be personal.
And this is what I want to say is this is all a joke. And I want to say that I'm not making fun of the TikTok, the OnlyFans girls. To me, the funny part of all of this is the horniness of men. That is the joke here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're just tapped into like, all right, we can make money off this. But the fact that they can is what's funny to me.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyways, 3 months later, Schmitty's deep in it. His house is trashed. He's eating nothing but ramen. He's unshaven and appearing emaciated. He spends all day watching her on TikTok, and when she's not around, he reads old DMs he has with her. He is now her #1 gifter.
Yuck.
He's made it, right?
Yeah, this is gross. All right.
Creepy.
It is creepy, but it's a Halloween movie. It's a horror movie, rather. They were making fun of. The doorbell rings, and he jumps out of bed. He excitedly answers the door and signs for his package.
And the delivery man's like, maybe you should go outside and get some sunshine.
Yeah,
Get a little
basically.
fresh air.
An aroma hit me when I opened this door.
Well, or the package, because it's the queef he ordered
Oh boy.
from 100% That Witch.
Oh man. We're gonna need some recovery from this. It's not tasteful yet.
Well, it exists. He opens the box.
They didn't even put it in a box. It's just like a pickle jar with a shipping label. I know exactly what's in
Just a
it.
stamp. No, I was picturing just a Tupperware with like duct tape wrapped around it.
I remember I made the joke a long time ago about farting in Tupperware, like gifting that to somebody you don't like.
Mailing it.
Exactly, just
Right,
open
yeah.
it and just be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I baked him.
So he gets his package. He excitedly lights candles and slips into his bathrobe. He peels off the tape, takes a deep breath and exhales, moves the Tupperware up to his nose, cracks the lid, and immediately the camera cuts to outside of his house and the whole house explodes.
all right." Shouldn't have lit a match in there.
Well, the candles.
Oh, that's right.
Or who knows? Gas or whatever. But it's devastating. He's shown being rushed down the halls of a hospital, barely conscious. Doctors are scrambling and discussing his care. I don't know. It must have been some kind of gas
What did
leak.
she eat?
Yeah. He's lucky to have survived. He reaches his room where the doctor looks over his chart and tells him that this will all be behind him soon enough. There's a clear road to recovery. Schmitty lays in bed bored, thinking about that witch. 100% That Witch. His friend Doug enters the room. Knock, knock. Doug's very concerned and expresses how worried he was when he heard. Both men are very confused about the explosion. Everyone is in agreement it was some kind of gas leak. Schmitty tells Doug he needs a new tablet. It was lost in the explosion, and now he's dying of boredom in this hospital bed. Doug agrees to go buy him one and returns with it ASAP. Schmitty immediately downloads TikTok and logs in. Doug is confused when he notices over Schmitty's shoulder that all the videos he sent over the last few months have gone unwatched. So he's right on TikTok, but he's not watching Doug's videos. Doug's like, what the hell's going on here? You know? Tastefully done?
No. No, it wasn't.
I was not
sorry.
expecting the explosion. So that's a Shyamalan kind of twist.
It really is. That's
Yeah, no. I don't really know how you'd pull off tasteful, but like, imagine just like some like, I don't know, Victorian era ladies are sitting around a table, just drinking tea. And it was like you just hear one, you're like, oh my heavens! Like that's about the only one.
I thought the fact that nobody was going to be imitating it, and I was hoping to just move past it, but we did. It was like a train wreck you guys had to slow down and look at. It was tough getting through that paragraph. Oh, man.
My heavens!
So Doug leaves shortly after as Schmitty is completely glued to the tablet. Okay, man, I'll let you rest. As Doug leaves, 100% That Witch goes live. Schmitty starts chatting with her, and she responds quickly to all his comments. He tells her he's in the hospital, and she just gives a fake, empathetic response. Oh, no. Hey, welcome in, Carlos. Like, just on to the next.
Right.
Schmitty's doctor is seen outside the room, taking one last minute looking at his chart when he hears, I hope you feel better soon, Big City Schmitty. His head quickly jerks up, and he pulls out his phone to look at it. The screen is off. He must be hearing this from somewhere else. He puts his ear to the door, and his eyes grow wide. He looks at the chart, and the patient's name is Edward Schmidt. The doctor is Dr. Boner.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like I wasn't following there. Thank you. Dr.
Well, this is the
Bonet.
connection. He hears Schmitty. Looks at the chart.
It's Bonet.
Schmidt.
It's pronounced Bonet.
From the big city.
Yeah. So the doctor enters the room in disbelief when he confirms with his own eyes that the patient is not only watching 100% that witch's stream, but that it's none other than his rival who dethroned him as the top gifter, Big City Schmitty. The news he's giving Schmitty is all good, but his prognosis and path to recovery, or about his prognosis and path to recovery, and he seems to get more and more annoyed explaining it, as if he's disappointed that he's going to be okay. Schmitty couldn't care less about what the doctor is saying. He's glued to his tablet and grinning ear to ear, basically ignoring everything the doctor says. The doctor realizes this, leaves the room, locks himself in a janitor's closet to watch the rest of the live stream. So what do you think about this development?
That's pretty gross. I don't know if I want to elaborate on it.
You got nothing? You're not going to work with me on this?
Well, you're working with something over there.
So the doctor is
He's one of the other gifters.
jealous of Schmitty because now he's getting more attention from this internet lady.
Yeah,
Well,
you got
yes.
too
Now
many-
they're both vying for this.
Yeah, bunch of winky faces. Pillows.
Smoochy faces. That's what I'm picturing. So you get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping we don't really get it, but I'm just explaining. This is what I've seen on TikTok is that it's full of OnlyFans models.
None of us
Just
in this room understand.
Trying to. So, anyways, he can't believe all the attention Schmitty's getting. He devises a plan to unplug an important machine that is currently regulating his blood circulation. The doctor's very conflicted on this. Not only is it murder, but he took an oath before he can.
Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, before he reconsiders. He hears more, love and affection from that witch. And he's furious, kicks a mop bucket, which causes everything to jostle in the closet, making a loud ruckus and spilling a bunch of cleaner all over the doctor. After she goes offline, the doctor heads back to Schmitty's room. He slowly opens the door to see that he's fallen asleep. He goes to unplug the machine, only to realize Schmitty has already unplugged it himself to charge his tablet.
I thought it was going to be some weird asphyxiation fetish.
No, see, your assumptions are worse than what I've written here.
We're catching a vibe
The
here.
queef was wild, I will say. The queef explosion was wild. But that's as far as we're going. I'm telling you, that everything is glossed
That
over.
is- That's pretty spicy.
There you go. So that night, the doc has many nightmares about being found responsible for Schmitty's death. I don't know. You guys caught that he just unplugged his own machine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
plug in his
he was
tablet.
worried about having
Sure.
to do it, but
The doctor just nods and leaves the room. Like
he did it himself.
okay, all right. So he has many nightmares that night, very conflicted about being found responsible for Schmitty's death, each one deeper and more sinister. Eventually, they reveal that he is being controlled by demons to do their evil bidding on Earth, up to and including murder. The dreams are scary until 100% that witch shows up in them, and he realizes he is more than happy to do these evil things. So he's just being haunted by this TikTok girl
All
and
right.
telling him to murder Schmitty. The doc returns to work the next day to realize that Schmitty's still alive. However, the machine being off has damaged his legs severely, and now he may never walk again. He will have more time to spend. We have a lot of that this episode. A lot of it, even the last couple episodes,
The
people are
legs.
getting in hospitals and stuff.
Yeah, please, Doc. Does the blood flow at least reach the waistline?
He will have to spend more time, or he'll have more time to spend doom scrolling TikTok. This is where the doc begins to feel conflicted. How could he allow something terrible like this to happen to a patient when it didn't even benefit him? He needed to somehow make it right. He offers to take Schmitty outside of the hospital to get something better to eat than the cafeteria food he's been eating this whole time. At lunch, they get talking and they start opening up to each other. Schmitty explains his job loss, the house explosion, and a number of other things that have fallen apart over the last few months. The doc can empathize. He's had some bad luck, too, over the same time frame. His wife left, kids hate him. He's losing everything in the divorce.
They're bonding over this.
Yeah, we're just like, yeah, my life's been falling apart too. Just then, both of their devices make the chime, that same chime from earlier. It's a notification.
Boing, oing, oing.
See, you can have fun with this. It's a notification that she's gone live. They both pull out their phones immediately, but stop and look at each other. They both come clean about who they are. They realize they've been following her about the same amount of time, right when both of their lives start falling apart.
Then one of them gets a separate
Like one that the other one didn't get.
Exactly. I was like, I should go check that.
They get discussing the possibility that she could be an actual witch. She's goth, reads tarot. There's a lot of tarot reading on there too. Has a lot of Wiccan symbols on her clothes and on her background. Is it crazy to think that there could be more to this? They Google OnlyFans witch, and the first few results are for her pages. However, right underneath, there's another website, which is a blog written by Flagrant Vagrant. Both of their jaws drop. He was the other top gifter earlier.
Yeah.
The blog explains she's a demon that has walked the earth for thousands of years, sucking the life force and vitality from men.
Oh, she's a succubus.
Well, so with the advancement of technology, she's able to do it to hundreds, if not thousands, of men simultaneously.
She's a super succubus.
Before social media, she had to...
just got a pile of Tupperware, just one by one, just mail it like a...
See? Now you like it.
Just getting variety packs.
No, but so I'm thinking, like, so before, like, TikTok and all
Send
this...
it down the convey belt and on to the next one.
To accomplish what she's doing, there was no internet or social media. She would just have to, like, leave, like, porn in the woods for, like, teenagers to find. Like, it would just be like... You know, in the 90s, you saw a magazine in the woods, you already knew.
Yeah, you found a hole in a tree, you knew. You stuck your hand right in.
No, but that's what it was. You saw a magazine on, like, the side of some train tracks. You were just like, that's porn. From a mile away, you knew. Like, what else would it be?
Yep.
So yeah, both their blogs, yeah, whatever. Where are we at? The blog explains that she must be stopped, but Flagrant Vagrant himself is powerless to stop her. He warns she will take everything from you.
I'm too weak.
He leaves.
I have to keep giving her gifts.
He leaves
They
contact
finally
info.
meet him, and he looks like Gollum from
Precious.
the Rings.
Yeah. So he leaves contact info to reach out and offer help. The two decide that's what they need to do. So I have a list here. You mentioned the succubus, but this all exists. In Greek mythology, they had Lamia or Lamia, a woman who was a child-devouring demon, later evolved to include a seductive woman who could drain the life force of men. The Greeks had Impusa, shape-shifting demoness who seduced young men. And my point is, like, dude, the Romans had Strix, some bird woman who took the life force of men. Like, it's all the same thing.
Oh, it's like sirens, mermaids, sirens, or whatever. There's a lot of different... I think they sing, like...
Maybe.
That's at sea. You got to be on a boat for those ones.
Mesopotamians have Lilith.
Maritime law.
Lilitu, the seductive demoness who preys on men, like draining their vitality. So it's like, my point is the joke here is that all these cultures have the same thing. And like I said, once again, I'm not pointing fingers at the women here. It's just the horniness of men to like, well, that shouldn't have happened. It's her fault for making me want it. You know what I mean? Like, it's very funny to me that all these different cultures are all like, it's her.
She's the problem.
Yeah,
Couldn't possibly be me.
Exactly. It's not at all. There's no self-reflection. And I don't know if you've noticed, the doctor's life falling apart. It's just all his marriage.
She must have been a witch.
The argument could be like, well, dude, maybe you were just addicted to porn. And that's why your marriage fell apart. Like,
No, she's a witch.
Just saying. That's my point.
She cast a spell.
Google it.
She turned me into a newt.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting at here is the things going wrong are so far just kind of like
Yeah,
Did
get
a
off
witch-
the internet. And
did a
see
witch
your
do
family.
this? Yeah. Maybe you just stayed up late and got in trouble at your job because you're on OnlyFans all day, dude. Like, the witch didn't do that, you know? That's my point. That's what I want you to realize about a lot of the witchiness here.
Uh-huh.
So while outside calling the number, the doc notices a large truck driving up the road. He's overcome with a strong urge to push Smitty in his wheelchair into the road. Like, I'm picturing, like, demons. Like, you hear, like, the... just like the whispers. However, just before he does, a gruff voice answers the call. Hello? Upon his instruction, the two drive deep into the desert and end up in an old, rusty, rundown trailer with trash littering the ground all around outside of it. They're greeted by a very dirty-looking man wearing a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat. He welcomes them inside. This is Flagrant Vagrant.
I figured. He's got nothing on under that trench coat either. It's like we all know it.
Yeah, basically.
This guy's on OnlyFans all day.
Just a
He's not wearing
bathrobe.
He's
anything.
just got a bunch of mall ninja weapons hanging in.
So the trailer's littered with trash. There appears to be nothing of value inside, not even a makeshift bed. And then so these guys are just looking around like, wow, she must have really taken everything from you. Like, she really did a number on you. Look at this place. He goes, what do you mean? This is the best place I've lived in a while. This is like actually a come up for me.
Doing pretty sweet.
Yeah, like he's like, what are you talking about?
Check
This
me
is-
out. I'm
My
kick
sister
ass.
came over to help me fix up.
Yeah, like this is good. This is good stuff for me. So Flagrant goes on to explain that anyone who falls under her spell is powerless to deny her commands. He knows where she lives, but it will be very dangerous. Anyone willing to help is controlled, and anyone not will think they're crazy. So while he's talking, the doc is lost in his own head, hearing demonic whispers and fantasizing about murdering both Flagrant and Schmitty to become the #1 gifter again. He snaps out of it when Schmitty says, Doc, let's go. And he's like, huh? You know? So you see what's happening here now.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to share the
It is like a very
yard
Gollum.
farts.
Yeah,
All for me.
yeah, more for me. So the three men drive all night to arrive at a ridiculous mansion. I'm picturing it should be like a Gothic castle,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
grossly overdecorated with fountains, perfect landscaping. They knock on the front door, but it just creaks open on its own. They enter. They wander around the dark mansion, which appears to be empty and covered in cobwebs. Finally, they reach a large room lit by a crackling fireplace. In the center of the room, there's a shrine of photographs. Upon closer inspection, they're dick pics.
Are they at 100% that witch's house right
Yes,
now?
they're at her castle.
Okay. I
So-
think the
I'm almost picturing, like, you know, in It, when the kids are floating around in the sky, like, I'm picturing there'd be the dick pics as well up there. So it's like, it's all like, this is where the power is concentrated.
I feel like they're walking in, like one of them looks over and is like, why are those shrubs trimmed like a lightning bolt? It's like, that's interesting. Let's keep walking.
But so yeah, they've made it to the power room. Basically, this is where all the power is concentrated. All the vitality she has stolen. Basically,
Through dick pics.
yes, that's where when you surrendered her. Basically, a woman's voice is heard from the corner of the room. I knew you'd come. 100% that witch is standing there seductively in a robe making a drink.
It's like, well, duh.
Flagrant yells out, "It's the shrine! We must destroy it!" He makes a dash towards it, but freezes when that witch yells stop. He pleads for one of the others to help. Schmitty makes his move, but freezes the same way when told. 100% that witch explains that the moment they sent their dick pics, they'd already lost. Now they're helpless forever.
All right.
So where are we at?
She looks like Medusa, but instead of snakes, it's just a bunch of dicks. In her.
Who's out there just sending unsolicited souls?
So the doc is heard clearing his throat. Everyone stops and looks at him as he casually walks up to the shrine. That witch yells for him to stop, but he is unaffected. He explains that he was too shy to send a real dick pic, so he just found a decent piece on Google and sent that.
That's what I aspire to be.
It's still got the screenshot.
He picks up the shrine and
Timestamp.
Yeah. He picks up the shrine and tosses it into the fire. The witch yells, "No!" and disappears in a poof of flames. Flagrant and Schmitty.
Dick-shaped cloud of smoke.
Just squirt a lube.
Yeah, she just drops a bottle of lube that like explodes on the floor when she disappears. Flagrant and Schmitty are able to move again. The spell is broken. Doc is confused. How did things go? How did things go so bad for him and his luck if the witch never had any true spell over him? The man explained that his wife left because he was probably just addicted to porn. He was the #1 gifter for a very long time. That's kind of a big deal, and all of his misfortune was his own doing. The men leave the mansion and head back to their lives. They all delete TikTok and jump on the "Let's Ban It" bandwagon. And then I was thinking it cuts to a construction worker who was shown digging through the rubble at Schmitty's demolished house. He finds a tablet and says, hey, this thing actually looks pretty clean.
He finds the fart jar.
He goes, hey, this thing actually looks pretty clean. He turns it on to see that not only does it still work, but it's showing the TikTok sign up screen. He goes, huh, never had a TikTok. The end.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Spooky.
So she was abolished, though, once they destroyed the shrine.
Yeah.
Well, who knows how many other...
Apparently, how many men were freed around the world. How many viewers. But I would argue tastefully done.
I would argue against it.
Tasteful is not the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't go tasteful.
For the title and the subject matter, I would say I avoided anything other than the Tupperware. Anything really grotesque.
Yeah, what'd you name it again? Around the World in 80 Queefs? I can't remember.
See?
Queef Latifah.
That wasn't me.
I made that joke a long time ago.
Exactly. And we all loved it.
It was so good. We had a black light room where we drew it in highlighter. Anyways. All right. But no, it's crude and you should be ashamed of yourself, but I enjoyed it.
Well, that's okay. Thank you. So that's the OnlyFans witch.
Yeah. All right.
And then we have
I still got
Zempic
anything
and
for the
the
monkey
monkey's
paw.
paw one.
Yeah, I still don't got anything for it.
Well, to think of something.
Yeah. I mean, just my take on the monkey's paw.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
pretty good. All very spooky.
Yeah.
I do like that in mine. The monster is porn.
I mean,
Essentially.
that's real.
It's like, listen, we had a lot of fun tonight, but if you or anyone you know is...
There's a hotline out there, not those 900 ones.
I should put a number on the screen.
call a real hotline to get help.
If you're ever considering buying farts from strangers on the internet, you should reevaluate your
Don't like
life
candles.
choices.
Yeah, there's a prevention hotline for that. You should definitely call and arrange for some help.
But yeah, I think successful
Triple feature Spooktacular.
and we got it in under time. We can do this all in one episode,
And I wore a costume this time.
which is it's a really big deal for you, Spaceman. It shows your commitment.
It was one small step for me and one giant leap for our podcast.
That's beautiful.
There's no
It
going
was.
back now.
Yeah, just thought of it. Just came to me. I should have written that down.
Yeah. Well, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Well, you can check us out on social media. All of our links are at linktree/WWFTpod. And if you want to get in on our next live stream, follow us on YouTube or Twitch. Turn on your bell notifications. And that's about it.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Booyah. Happy Halloween.